These Raxium LED taillights are the perfect setup for you JK owners out there who are looking to upgrade your taillights to LEDs but want to keep that OEM type of style and function. These lights are designed to look and function a lot like what you'd find on newer Jeeps, just without the big dealership price tag. As much as most of us don't want to admit it, even the newest JKs are starting to get up there in age. And if you want to update and modernize your JK's lighting, then a set of LED taillights like these ones from Raxium are just the ticket. These are going to be a huge upgrade from the standard ho-hum halogens that your Jeep came with from the factory, and they're designed to look a lot like what you'd find on later JLs. So you can have that newer look and better output without having to spend all the money on a newer Jeep. Now the outer section here is going to function as your running light with a nice diffused red and a sort of hourglass type of shape. Towards the center, you'll find a sort of layered set of more LEDs top and bottom here that are going to give these a bit more dimension. Now this section is going to function as your brake light and your turn signals, which will again be much brighter than anything a JK would have had from the factory. And in the very center, you're going to find your reverse lights, which will light up a really bright white to help you see and be seen better when you're reversing, even on a pitch black campsite. These are also designed to be a plug and play install too, so you don't need to do any wiring to get them set up and running on your Jeep. And they're going to look just about perfect on there too, since they mimic that OEM type of style. The outer housings are made from ABS plastic with polycarbonate lenses over top. Now everything is sealed here to keep out dirt and moisture and keep the electronics inside nice and safe. Since these are full LEDs, they're also going to be nice and bright and have a long lifespan, so you don't have to worry about replacement bulbs. And they are DOT and SAE approved, making them fully street legal. Pricing comes in at about $225, which makes them a pretty affordable option. It's a really small price to pay considering the integration and output, and $225 is a heck of a lot less than buying yourself a JL. So if you look at it that way, you're saving a lot of money and you're getting a nice update. Installation gets a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 45 minutes, maybe an hour to complete. Now this is a pretty simple job. These are basically going to peel and stick right in place of your factory original lights, and then they just plug in. The resistors are already there and ready to go. So you don't need to wire anything or do any permanent modifications. And we're going to walk you through the process right now, so for that, let's head on out to the shop.
For this install, you will need an impact, a 5.5mm socket, a stubby, and regular size Phillips head screwdriver. What's up guys, today we're going to be doing some taillights on our Wrangler, so let's get started. Alrighty guys, so to get our factory taillight out, this is held in by screws over here, so we're going to grab our Phillips head screwdriver, pop these out first. Once we get these two out, pop our taillight right out like so, and we can unplug it from our connector. Push down, get that unplugged, and we can set that aside. Now once you have this side out, you can repeat the same process for the other side. Alrighty guys, so before we can install our new lights, there's a couple things we need to do. The first of which is to install our mounting bracket onto our resistor. So we've got 2 mounting holes that are going to line up with the mounting holes on your bracket. And we're going to send our provided screws through the resistor side. Get our provided lock nuts on. First one started. Now this is very small, tedious hardware, so take your time with it. So get those through. Grab our Phillips head screwdriver and our 5.5mm socket. Tighten these down. You want to be very gentle with these, you don't have to go super tight. Once we have that bracket together, we're going to install our vampire clips. We're going to hook on the other side of that bracket. These are going to allow us to mount to an open space where our tail lights go. Now the next thing we're going to have to do is remove the backing of the mounting portion of this light. That just kind of pops up like so. Get these off. They do have 2 tabs back here, so you want to be careful not to just rip this off. You don't want to break those. You want to kind of push it, pop it at the same time. Pull our wiring through. Then we're going to get this installed onto the vehicle. It also has adhesive strips. We're going to remove the backing off that. And that's where our factory screws are going to mount to, and then our outer assembly is going to mount to this bracket. Now we're ready to mount our bracket onto the vehicle. Now we've got these two tabs that are going to hook into the taillight bucket area. You want to make sure your factory plug is either tucked back in or through this area. Tucked back in is fine for now. Get this in place. Work that on. Now it is going to be a little bit sticky with that adhesive exposed. You can just kind of work it over. Hooked on. Now before we press this on, we want to get our screws in position and make sure they are able to mount. Now, this is just a placeholder for the moment. I'll tighten these down in just a second. And this is going to allow you to move it exactly where it needs to go. So you have these kind of loosely in place. You want to double check the fitment and make sure everything's lining up. Happy with that, we'll tighten these screws down. Now we're ready to set our tail light into place. We can get our resistor bracket lined up, and there is a nice spot back in your tail light bucket area. It's hard to see, but when you're looking straight at it, you will see where it is. So we'll get that hooked on with our clips. Bring our connector out, get that plugged in, tuck all that wiring back to this opening, and lined up. Set in place. Then we'll install our two mounting screws to the bracket in here. Now you may want a stubby screwdriver like we've got here, makes it a little bit easier. Especially if you have larger tires or this handle is getting in your way. Get these in place. Now once you have this side on, you can do the same thing for the other side. Alrighty folks, that about wraps up our review and install of our Raxian LED taillights with clear housings and clear lenses for your 07 to 18 Jeep Wrangler JK. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Wrangler, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.